fight before. There was a name that was thrown around. So, made the most sense to kind of get him back in there, see how he's recovered. And we're going to talk to him in a minute about that. But yeah, Sam Watford, Jack Congdon. And without further ado, Jack.
What a segue. There he is, Jack Congdon. Welcome back.
Mike, Andy, good to be back.
Yeah. So we had your roommate last week, Miguel Savesson.
Yep.
How we were laughing because probably the extremes. We were talking about Hixenbaum and his fight. And he's like, I don't watch tape. I don't do nothing. And then he's telling me how much tape he watches with you about your opponents.
Yeah, I always watch for tendencies. I kind of just get a sense as much as I can to like feel what that guy is going to be like. Whenever I have a spare second, I'm daydreaming about the fight. As I get closer to the fight, my dreams are about the fight. So I try to take in as much as possible and like make it as real as possible beforehand. It's not so much that I like watch it over and over and over again, but yeah, I'm definitely watching film, trying to get a feel of the guy and getting a mental picture.
Yeah. So, as you talk about the film, I was trying to set the table for you about, you've been out for a little while. What's been going on? I don't know if you don't want to have to share the.
We kind of froze up. I know you're talking about not sharing the injury. And I'm not going to. So, okay, I lost you guys for a little bit. I lost you at like, you're not going to share the injury. I'm not going to until after the fight, just the way my mind works, like strategically. If I was my opponent, I'd want to know that. So I'm not going to say it. But you were saying like what's been going on?
Yeah, well, yeah, just like, how's the recovery been going and what's it like to be kind of sitting on the sideline for this extended period of time and kind of seeing what's going on with this kind of, the void that with you sitting out, there was kind of a void left by you and all these people trying to like, scramble for the top of the heap at the welterweight division.
Yeah, man, it was tough because it happened 2 weeks before the fight was supposed to go down. And yeah, just sitting there having to sit on the outside at the event, it was tough, man. I kept saying, like, I felt like I'm on the wrong timeline. Like, I put in all the work for it. I was ready to go, felt great. And then, this just happens. It's part of the game. And obviously, I was happy for Joe. He's my teammate and all. But I'd be lying if I said, I didn't want it to be me and I didn't want to be in there. So I'm glad that I'm on the right track again. I don't really know what to do with myself if I don't have like training and that sort of thing to channel my energy into. Like, you develop like almost like an anxious energy about nothing if you don't have like this task, this goal to go to, and life's just boring. So yeah, honestly, it's great to be back in. It's great to be training 100%, as I have been for about a month or so. And I kept my weight down while I was hurt. I did as much as I could, and now I'm 100% back in and on track and ready to take back over. It's definitely been interesting to watch, and it's gonna be a great matchup between Diesel and Piersma. But I'm ready for whoever wins.
There you go. So obviously, Sam Watford, your opponent, you got that kind of side eye looking at those guys. I would, before I get to the next question, it's got to be kind of funny because after the last fight, everybody has their eyes on you. And I think I even kind of winked at you at one point, like, hey, what's going on? Because they're calling you out. Like, it's got to make you feel good that, like, you're looked at as an upper echelon guy. Even as you're sitting on the sidelines, it's like people still have your name in their mouth. It's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've earned it. I've done all 8 of my fights with you guys, and people have seen me come up from the amateur ranks, claim that belt. defend it, and then stay undefeated so far. But it's only good once it really comes to fruition. So we got more to do.
Yeah, you've been pretty active since you started fighting, through the amateur career, through the professional. So I totally feel you that this is probably the longest layoff since you have started fighting.
Yeah.
And to see the division kind of flare up as it has, as you're sitting in the wings, the title changing hands a few times over, and a bunch of these marquee matchups kind of falling into place for that. I had a question. I had a question at the end of it. How did it lose me? But
that's like
it's the monster. I can smell it. But no, it's got to be like a complete contrast when you are sitting in the wings and you got people that don't even know who you are who are calling you out. Desolé, I don't even think knew who you were, but that was still like a matchup that was talked about after that last win. And you seem to not be bothered or deterred that these guys are fighting for the title that you were about to, and you're really content with where you are fighting a man in Sam Watford that my money is just as intriguing of a matchup as you could ask for. I think it's very hard pressed to see too many people with you guys' traditional martial arts style, let alone to see them clashing against each other in the cage.
Yeah.
How do you see this fight playing out to the fans right here? Because it is unique, and I know that you're really analytical yourself.
Yeah, you said it all, but you don't get two guys with a traditional style really ever. So he's very long. He's got side kicks like me. He's got all this. He throws hook kicks and all these sorts of crazy head kicks. And there's really nobody else in the division, or I don't know, in Cage Titans really that fights like that. And so you got the both of us going at it. So you can expect it to be a lot of crazy blitzes, a lot of crazy kicks. It's going to play out on the feet. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great striking matchup for as long as it lasts.
Obviously you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like my question was going to kind of be on similar lines. Like when you got this name, what was kind of like some of the thoughts that went through your head?
I thought it was a fun matchup. Like I said, there's not too many guys that have that style. He beat Pat Casey, who I was supposed to fight for the title. And that was a crazy, drag out fight. He really kind of won the fight off of his back too. Casey took him down and he just kept throwing elbows. And I feel like that his activity won the fight. So he's very unorthodox. And I feel like that's a good test for me at this point. And above all, I've said it before and I'll keep saying it this way, but it's just fun.
So I think somebody had a new nickname for you, the Shadow Warrior. It always comes up. You're never going to outrun this until you officially pick one. The Shadow Warrior. What do you think of that?
It's kind of long, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not
I mean, Andy, how do you feel about pitching Shadow Warrior?
That's, I got to say, that's Jack Congdon. Jack Congdon, no nickname's fine. No nickname is always fine, but I feel like you definitely do need one, Jack.
Oh, yeah, we're throwing around King Jack.
You guys, I'm going to keep saying the same thing.
I got
Colossus. I still like Colossus, too.
Yeah, you got the alliteration.
Like, Jesus Christ.
It'll never end. I got you, though. Just Jack Congdon. We're good.
You can go how about just the Jack Congdon?
That's not bad.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I'm not worried about it. I'm really.
He's so Drago about it. He's like, he doesn't care about the nickname. He just.
That's the one I get the most. That's the one I get the most.
Drago?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that could be it. Anyways, a little bit of fun with you in addition to the nickname. How is it living with Miguel?
It's been great. Obviously we're both in camp, so we're both pushing each other, staying on the diet.
I hope you're doing the cooking.
What do you mean?
Okay, I know. He likes to get big in between.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's wild. Um, yeah, I'm not going to say too much more than that, but it's impressive. The weight that he can really swell up to and then cut back down to 55. Yeah, but yeah, we do our own cooking and stuff. But yeah, we're on the grind now. We're pushing each other in the gym, and then we come home. We're talking about it. We're doing a little bit of film work, and yeah, we're just both living the lifestyle. So it's good to have your friend like that there with you, pushing you all the time.
You're watching fight film, and he's watching the Food Channel. We know what's.
Yeah. He's always posting stuff of like the most disgusting, like fat things that don't even look good, like burgers, like somehow on top of like an ice cream cone, stuff like that.
Something there would be no need for, but just a man can dream, can't he?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I enjoy eating after the fights too. Like I'm not saying like I have my fair share, but I don't know. I don't have a sweet tooth, so that's.
I was just gonna ask. Speaking of food, what's Jack Congdon's like cheat like thing after a fight?
Burritos, burgers, and pizza. Those are my three big things.
There you go. All right. Well, all right. I'm gonna bring it up one more time. I got to catch up because the fans like throwing them in the comments now. Now it's just become a thing.
I know.
Jack the Ripper, which I think we've heard before. Jack the Cobra Congdon.
Cobra. Huh.
Cobra ain't bad.
Jack needs no nickname.
King Cobra.
And then Steve Rita sent in the KO King.
KO King.
Yeah.
I can sub you too.
All right. I'm done with the nicknames today. But we're gonna come up with one pretty soon. I think we're gonna land on one eventually. I have high hopes.
I'll say this. Drago is always kind of like it's somebody else, but and Volkov already has it in the UFC, but nicknames overlap. I thought because I'm always getting it. I thought Drago 2.0 would be potentially, but I'm not. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. But it's just a thought I've had in my head.
All right. All right. So the fact that you're warming up and you're thinking about it, that's a good sign. Because you usually like, nope. The fact that you're thinking about it, I like it.
I can't get away from it.
Can't get away from it.
Well, that's just a testament to how you've been impressing the shit out of people with your performances. They just expect a nickname at this point, but no worries. I got you. Jack Congdon, flat. That's it. We're good.
It's a great memory, though. The gentleman thing.
Yeah, that was the one time you were very confused for a second. And,
you did call him gentleman?
Yeah. Connor Matthews told it to me. He was commentating. We always call him Gentleman Jack. And I was like, I like it. And he's like, you better do it. He vetoed it in that moment, and you were very confused, and it hasn't been done since. So
yeah, it was funny. Like I was like, did he just say that? And it's like, you better get locked back in because you got to fight.
Yeah, it was literally an instant. You were like, all right, back to focus because you're so in the.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny because like the last time out, we had another one of those things where it was like I was looking up at the screen for a second. Right before me and Trevor's fight, and they had Mitch's picture up there instead of mine. That was pretty fun too.
We all had a chuckle out of that. That was a little editing room blunder.
Yeah. It's one of those things you just gotta let pass over. It's like, oh, that's funny.
What can you say? Shit happens. I love it. It's like such a contrast with Jack and Miguel. Jack just says he's been on the shelf nursing an injury for 6 months, and he stayed in shape the whole time. Miguel gets big in between fights. Miguel doesn't watch any fight film. Jack watches all the fight film. Miguel's got one of the top-notch nicknames, and you refuse every nickname. It's just but it works. It works.
Yeah, there's a balance to it.
Nick's over here. He said it's a great sitcom idea, so maybe we'll have so we can have like some cameras in your house. I'll tell you a quick funny story before we let you go. So my nickname when I fought was the pulverizer, the Pembroke pulverizer. So I come into the cage, and John Vina, who still does ring announcing, he comes over to me as I'm standing there in the zone getting ready. He goes, "So I was just reading a newspaper article about you when I was taking a shit before the show, and Pembroke pulverizer. What do you think of that? Can I call you that?" I'm like, sure. And then that was it. Pembroke pulverizer. He announced me as the Pembroke pulverizer, but like I'm sitting in the cage, watching my opponent come over. He's just like, "Hey, so I was just reading that newspaper article about you, and you're from Pembroke. Pulverizer. I was taking a shit. Do you mind?" And I was just like, really? Could have left the shit out of it. And I was like, "All right, dude, whatever you want to say." And that was it. The pulverizer was born.
No, I hear you. It's like at a certain point, you just have to roll with it. Like, am I taking it too serious? I don't know. At the same time, I don't really think I am. I just don't really. I don't care that much about it. I'm here to fight.
Oh, we do, and the fans do. So we're gonna land on one day, and we're gonna hope for that day that you go, "That's fucking it."
All right.
Well, any last minute shout outs or fans who've anything you want to say to the fans or anything that have been kind of supporting you while you've been on this hiatus, and the fans that have been coming out to see you on March 30th.
Yeah, first shout out to my sponsors. So Waterman Roofing. If you're in Lakeville or Freetown, Middleborough, you see their signs all over the place. So check them out, and then Kyler's Catch as well. They're where I get all of my seafood from here in New Bedford, and that definitely fuels my fight camp. So shout out, like I said, Waterman Roofing, Kyler's Catch. Yeah, and then last thing to everybody watching, March 30th, come and catch probably what's going to be the most wild striking matchup you've seen at Cage Titans. Catch a wild striking match. It's going to be action packed the whole time. I'm going to put the pressure on. I'm going to take command of the cage and go in there and get another crazy highlight finish. As well as, like you said, with the hiatus, I appreciate everybody supporting me. Like when I put it all out on social media, the support was really crazy. So, I appreciate all that, and just can't wait to go in there and make a comeback.
Well, there you go, Jack. We can't wait to have you in there on March 30th. I know I'm pretty excited for this matchup as well. You sold it perfectly. It's going to be a unique matchup, because you definitely don't see the type of styles often that you guys both bring to the table. So thank you so much, and we will see you in a little under 5 weeks.
Let's go. March 30th.